Have you ever stopped to consider that maybe this hard moment you're going through isn't here to destroy you? Maybe the universe is preparing you for something much greater. Maybe what feels like the end is actually the beginning of your biggest transformation. Want to learn how to turn pain into real growth? Then stay with me. There was a time in my life when I felt completely lost. It was as if every day was a new battle, and I didn't have the strength to fight anymore. I used to wake up already feeling defeated before even getting out of bed. I looked in the mirror and barely recognized myself. It was easy to slip into the victim mindset. Easy to say life had been unfair, that the universe had forgotten I existed. But you know what wasn't easy? Realizing that maybe, just maybe, everything I was going through had a deeper purpose. And maybe life wasn't trying to break me. Maybe it was trying to shape me into something more beautiful than I could see at that time. That was my big shift in perspective. And that's exactly why I'm here talking to you today. If you feel like you're being crushed by your challenges, if life feels too heavy and you can't see a way out, stay with me. Because today, I want to show you that what looks like defeat may actually be a powerful invitation to grow. And everything happening right now could be the universe responding to what you once asked for. A new life, lighter, more aligned, and full of meaning. But before I show you what to do with all this, let me share a little more about how I understood this in practice. For a long time, I believed the problems I faced were punishments. I saw every obstacle as a consequence, as if I had done something terribly wrong, and the universe was here to teach me a lesson. I clearly remember a day when I sat at the edge of my bed and asked out loud, "Why me? What did I do to deserve all this?" And in the middle of all that pain, a soft inner voice whispered back, "What if this isn't punishment? What if it's preparation?" That idea felt completely counterintuitive. But in that moment, for the first time, I paused and thought, is the universe really against me? Or is it just pointing me toward where I need to grow? That day, I understood something powerful. Life doesn't send us challenges to crush us. It sends them to strengthen us. And when we shift the way we look at those challenges, everything starts to change. Manifestation doesn't happen when everything is calm. It becomes real when you choose to use your positive mindset, your strength, and your courage to overcome what feels impossible. Have you ever noticed how all strong, wise, and inspiring people have one thing in common? They've all been through deep challenges. Nobody who truly transforms lives or makes real impact came from a life without struggles. Because real growth comes from those moments when you're forced to either rise or give up. And it's in those moments that the universe looks at you and asks, "Will you let this break you? Or will you let me shape you?" Pain is not meant to stay. Pain is a teacher. It's here to show you what needs healing, what needs to change, and most importantly, where your strength is waiting to be discovered. And the difference between people who give up and those who turn pain into power is simply how they choose to interpret what they're going through. Positive thinking doesn't mean denying the pain. It means not letting it define you. It means looking at it and saying, "I understand why you're here. I know you're here to teach me something, and I choose to learn." I clearly remember the day I lost the job that supported my entire life. It felt like the ground had been ripped out from under me. Everything I had built over the years suddenly disappeared. My first thought was one of complete defeat. But after a few days, right in the middle of that deep pain, a new question surfaced. What if this is actually happening for my own good? That's when I decided that instead of complaining and lying in bed feeling sorry for myself, I would do something different. I started looking for courses, mentorships. I learned new skills, and I rediscovered myself on a path I would have never found if it weren't for that loss. Today, looking back, I understand that the universe didn't remove me from that place to punish me, but to place me on a more honest, aligned path. That event wasn't a fall, it was a redirection, and that's exactly what the law of attraction does. It uses everything you go through, including the hard parts, as part of manifesting a better life. Maybe you're asking yourself, okay, but how do I change my perspective when problems hit me? The first step is simple: awareness. Every time a challenge shows up, instead of asking why me, ask, what is this trying to teach me? This is such a powerful practice because you begin to give meaning to what you're living through. And when you give something meaning, the pain softens and growth begins. Even in the middle of the storm, your vibration starts to shift. From that point on, your actions become more intentional, more present, and the universe feels that because it always responds to your internal alignment. And you know what the fast reward is in all of this. When you begin to see purpose in your struggles, you start to receive clear signs that you're on the right path. You begin to notice that life, even in the hardest moments, is actually working in your favor. Maybe you still can't see things clearly, and that's okay. But in the next part, I want to show you how you can start using every fall, every obstacle, as a real ladder to your growth. I want to show you how manifestation doesn't happen in spite of your struggles, but because of them. And once you begin applying what I'm going to share in the next section, you'll realize that everything you're going through right now might become the greatest gift the universe could have given you. That one phrase wouldn't leave my mind. You're not being destroyed. You're being shaped. But honestly, for a while, I couldn't believe it. How could I believe that pain was part of my growth when all I felt was emptiness? The truth is, when you're in the middle of the storm, it's hard to imagine that a blue sky still exists, but it always returns. Sometimes, all we need to do is keep walking even when we can't see the road. I know it might feel like your life is stuck, like the world keeps moving while you're frozen in place without strength, without motivation, without direction. I've been there. That feeling that nothing you do works, that the universe is silent while your mind keeps screaming. But you know what saved me? The choice to keep going. Even without knowing exactly where I was headed, I kept moving because I understood that movement is what attracts alignment. Manifestation doesn't materialize in fear. It materializes through action, even the smallest kind. There's a concept in the law of attraction that changed me. Inspired action. It's not about doing everything all at once or rushing blindly. It's about feeling a nudge from the universe within you and following it. It's when something small moves you to act and you honor that calling. In my case, it was a regular afternoon. I was sitting there with no energy at all when I felt like listening to a song that used to inspire me back in my teenage years. I played that song and started jotting down a few random thoughts in a notebook. Nothing special, but that's where the idea for my new project was born. Right there. Even while I was still hurting, I reconnected with positive thinking. And do you know what happened next? People began showing up. Ideas started flowing. Opportunities appeared. The universe began to move with me. Because that's what happens. When you rise, even if you're still broken, the universe rises with you. A lot of people blame themselves for wasting time. I did that for years. I kept telling myself, if I had acted sooner, my life would be different by now. But here's the truth. That time wasn't wasted. It was preparation. What looked like a pause was actually incubation. It was the universe working behind the scenes, making you stronger. You weren't stuck. You were being refined. And when you start to see it this way, the weight of guilt begins to lift. And in its place, something powerful emerges. Gratitude, yes, gratitude. For the time you fell. For the silence that made you hear your own soul. For the pain that showed you what truly matters. Let me tell you about Maria. She owned a small shop that had to close during the pandemic. She lost customers, lost her income, lost her sense of direction. She spent weeks crying, thinking her life had ended there. But one ordinary day, she picked up her phone, opened Instagram, and started sharing simple organizing tips. No big goals, no expectations. Out of nowhere, one of her videos went viral. Today she runs an online store, has thousands of followers, and sells internationally. And you know what she once told me? If my store hadn't closed, I would have never discovered this new version of myself. Life didn't knock Maria down. Life opened a door she could only see after the fall. One of the biggest sources of suffering is the need to control everything. We want to know when, how, why, and when things don't go as planned, our minds panic. But the law of attraction teaches us something powerful. Let go of control and trust your vibration. You don't need to know how it will all happen. You just need to choose what you want to feel now. Choose peace. Choose to believe that the universe is doing its part even when you can't see it. Choose positive thinking, even in the face of uncertainty. Manifestation responds to your inner state, not your external anxiety. There's a practice that changed my life, replacing destructive questions with constructive ones. I used to ask, why is this happening to me? When will it end? What did I do wrong? Now I ask, what can this teach me? How can I grow from this? What is the universe trying to show me? That changes everything. Because when you change the question, you shift your focus. And where your focus goes, your energy flows. Grab a sheet of paper right now and write at the top, I wasn't defeated. I was being shaped. Then, write down 3 tough situations you've been through. And next to each one, note what you learned from it. Even if it still hurts. Even if you feel like you haven't learned anything, push yourself to find something. This exercise isn't about romanticizing pain. It's about giving it meaning. Because when you give meaning to your fall, it turns into a foundation. There's something curious about healing. It doesn't happen in a straight line. You won't just wake up one day and feel like everything's fixed. But do you know what will happen? You'll notice that the things that used to paralyze you no longer carry the same weight, that the tears have been replaced by understanding, that the anger gave way to self-love. That's healing. That's manifestation happening in real time. Because manifestation isn't just about attracting something new. It's about becoming someone new. Even when everything seems to be working against you, the universe is working in your favor. Remember, roots grow in the dark. Diamonds are formed under pressure. Butterflies only fly after breaking through the cocoon. You're not at the end. You're in a transition. And life, the same life that seems tough right now, is actually pushing you forward. Believe this. What you're going through now might be the beginning of your best chapter. When I look back, I can clearly see I'm no longer who I used to be. And even though that change hurt in the beginning, today I understand. The pain shaped me. The loss realigned me. And life rebuilt me. And maybe you're in that exact place right now, asking yourself if you still recognize who you are, questioning why everything has changed, feeling out of place among the people who once understood you. But let me tell you a secret. That's not a sign that something went wrong. It's a sign your vibration is shifting. It's the universe preparing you for something bigger. Transition is the most confusing stage of manifestation. It's when the old no longer fits but the new hasn't fully arrived. It's the space between I'm no longer who I was and I don't yet know who I'm becoming. And that space feels scary. It makes you want to go back to the familiar even if it hurts. But this is the moment where most people give up. So if you keep going even while scared, you'll discover a strength you never knew you had. Positive thinking at this stage isn't just helpful, it's essential. Because your mind will try to pull you back. It'll remind you of your failures, your past, your limitations. But you have to remind it of who you're becoming. I could have stayed the same version of myself, with the same excuses, the same patterns, the same fears. But one day I realized blaming myself over and over for what happened wasn't taking me anywhere. So I decided to change. I started talking to myself with more compassion. I started remembering the law of attraction doesn't respond to what I want. It responds to what I believe is possible for me. And if I wanted to manifest a new life, I had to believe I deserved to live that new life, even after everything, even with my mistakes, even with my flaws. Your current reality is a direct reflection of your dominant vibration. It's like the universe holds a mirror in front of you every day. If you vibrate in fear, insecurity, guilt, the world will mirror that back to you. But if you slowly start choosing trust, self-love, and positive thoughts, the reflection starts to shift. Not overnight, but you begin to notice the signs. An unexpected invitation. A message that feels like an answer, a meaningful encounter. That's manifestation. That's the universe whispering, keep going. I'm listening. Have you ever done a puzzle? At first, it feels like chaos, just scattered pieces everywhere. And the bigger the puzzle, the messier it looks. But you start by fitting the edges, then the corners, and slowly, the bigger picture starts to come together. Life is like that. Manifestation is like that. You have to trust that every piece has its place, even the painful ones, because they're part of the final image. 2. The universe knows what it's doing. Even when nothing makes sense, it's still working. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine yourself 6 months from now, stronger, lighter, clearer, living a more aligned, abundant life that truly feels like yours. Now ask that future version of you, what did you do differently to get here? Listen closely. You might hear a subtle answer. I was kinder to myself. I chose to trust more. I believed I was worthy. I didn't give up on me. These responses are keys. They're messages from your own soul. Write them down and start acting as if you're already that person. That's the beginning of true transformation. Ricardo was the kind of guy who constantly complained about life. Everything seemed to go wrong. He used to say the universe was against him, that nothing ever worked out. But one day, exhausted, he decided to shift something. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" he started asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" He didn't become rich overnight, but he stopped losing friends because of negativity. He landed a better job. And slowly, he began reconnecting with his dreams. All because he shifted his vibration. His energy changed. And the universe, always paying attention, responded, "It doesn't matter if you believe in it or not. The law of attraction is always working. It's not just activated when you make a vision board. It responds to every thought you repeat every single day." That's why it's so important to choose your words carefully, especially the ones you say to yourself every single day. The way you treat yourself internally is the magnet of your reality. So, if you want a new life, start within. Start by changing how you speak to yourself. Believe me, your vibration creates your world. You know those repetitive cycles that feel endless? Relationships that never work out, situations that keep repeating, self-sabotage, fear, giving up. They're coming to a close now, but they don't end through force. They end through awareness. When you understand what needs to be healed, the cycle loses its grip, and you no longer have to go through it again. So look at what still hurts, not with judgment, but with curiosity. What is this cycle trying to reveal to you? Maybe that you deserve more. Maybe that you're ready. Maybe that the universe is just waiting for you to align. Imagine that each pain, frustration, or loss is like a raw gemstone being shaped. At first, it's rough. No shine, no form, no obvious value. But with every cut, every polish, it starts to take shape. It becomes a jewel. You are that gemstone. And life, with everything that's happened, is shaping you. You haven't been broken. You're being molded. And when that new shape is complete, you'll be amazed by who you've become. If you've made it this far, it's because something inside you refused to give up. Maybe it was a quiet voice, a soft intuition, or simply the desire to breathe more freely. But you kept going. You read, you reflected, you felt. And I want you to know that alone is a sign of change. Life has been shaping you. Now, it's time to show the universe who you're ready to become. You know those moments that nearly broke you? The ones that made you question your worth? your strength, your ability to receive love. They weren't punishment. They were foundation, yes. I know it's hard to hear that when you're still in the middle of the chaos. But today, with clarity, I can see that pain was my greatest teacher. It pulled me out of places where I'd stopped growing. It stripped away the things that held me back. It forced me to look inward and make peace with myself. And that's where the magic happens. When you stop fighting the pain and start listening to what it's trying to teach you, you've realized now that the universe doesn't respond to desperation. It responds to alignment. So the real question is, what do I want to feel every day of my life? Not what do I want to have, but what you want to feel. Because that's what manifests. That's what the law of attraction responds to. If you want to feel peace, you have to nurture thoughts that generate peace. If you want to feel abundance, you have to act like someone who already believes they deserve it. If you want to feel love, you have to start loving yourself first. Manifestation isn't about getting things. It's about becoming someone who can hold what they've received. Now that you understand you've been shaped, the next step is to live in alignment with this new version of you. And it doesn't have to be complicated. You can start by shifting your mornings. Put down your phone and have a quiet coffee with yourself. Replace I can't with I'm still learning. Start a new habit like writing down 3 good things that happened today. These are small acts, but filled with new energy. Energy that tells the universe, I am this new version of me. And the universe responds. Luana had a history of toxic relationships. Every time things seemed to be going well, something happened and she ended up alone again. She believed she just wasn't made for love, until one day, she heard a phrase that stopped her cold. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you believe you deserve. That hit deep. She realized that, deep down, she didn't feel worthy. That was the turning point, and she started therapy, read books on self-discovery, and began repeating affirmations every day. Today, she's in a healthy relationship, and more important than that, she's at peace with herself. Life didn't break Luana. Life pushed her to rebuild from self-love. Grab a pen and paper and write these sentences somewhere visible. I was shaped, not destroyed. I am worthy of the life I dream of living. The universe is guiding me with wisdom. Every step I take manifests a new beginning. I trust in my transformation. Repeat these affirmations every day for 7 days, preferably right after waking up. And truly feel the energy they carry. This is the kind of simple action that holds real power, because it realigns your vibrational field with the life you want to experience. A lot of people give up too soon. They think just thinking positively for a day will change everything. But manifestation is a process. It's repetition with intention. It's showing up every day, even when nothing seems to be changing. That's when you show the universe you're ready. That's when life realizes you're no longer the same, and that's when things begin to shift. If I could look you in the eyes right now, I would say, you're not late. You're not broken. You're not lost. You are being sculpted by something greater. Everything that's happened had a purpose. To bring you back to your center. To show you how much you're truly capable of. To remind you of the power within you, one that no one can take away. The universe doesn't fail. Life doesn't knock you down without a reason. And when you truly understand that, everything changes. Right now, you're at a turning point. You can keep identifying with the pain, or you can use all of it as fuel for transformation. The choice is yours. No one's going to save you, but the universe will align everything the moment you decide to save yourself. And that decision starts now. To finish, I want to give you a challenge. Write a letter to yourself, dated today. Begin with, "Dear future me, I'm proud of who you're becoming." Write everything you're feeling right now. Your fears, your decisions, your promise to change. Then fold the letter and put it away. Read it again 3 months from now. You'll be surprised at how much you've grown, because life shapes you, but you choose what to do with that new form. Now it's your turn. Apply this knowledge. Try it. Feel it. Notice how life reacts differently when you react differently. And tell me in the comments, which part of this video touched you the most? I really want to hear from you. And if this message made sense to you, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. We still have a lot to talk about: manifestation, the universe, and positive thinking. You weren't knocked down. You were shaped, and the world is about to meet your new version.